DuckTalks is part of Res TV's network of podcasts. Check out res.tv for other great podcasts.
Hello, Duck fans. This is Joe Caramagna, writer of the DuckTales 2017 comic book series for Disney Comics and IDW, urging you to please support your local Ronald McDonald House charity. You can find them on Google if you search Ronald McDonald House near me, or the next time you go get your McRib on, drop some change into the RMHC collection box. If you can, please check out my Twitter and Instagram and see how you can sponsor me in the upcoming virtual Space Race 5K to benefit the Ronald McDonald House of Greater Houston and Galveston. No amount is too small. Space Race because Houston is where Mission Control is at the Johnson Space Center. Get it? But seriously, the Ronald McDonald House Charities provide a home away from home for families with seriously ill children so they can keep families together while the kids are receiving their treatments. It's a very important charity that's near and dear to my heart. And now, here are my buddies at DuckTalks. Bless me bagpipes!
It's the week of Monday, September 14th, and you're listening to episode 110 of DuckTalks. We are on the cusp of new episodes. DuckTales is back next week. Just a few days from this podcast being released, everyone will be enjoying a brand new episode of DuckTales. And that's mostly what we're going to talk about tonight. This is DuckTalks. We are a DuckTales and Disney Afternooniverse fan podcast. We're here to talk about all the news around DuckTales and anything Disney Afternoon related. We've got quite a few things actually to go over, which was surprising. Most of it hit today, or at least in the last week. And so we're going to jump right into it. My name's Mitch. I'm one of your hosts. Joining me this week, I have my good pals, Pirate Steven and Josh.
Ahoy there.
Hey guys, what's happening?
Yeah, I got to watch some football this weekend. I was wearing my Lucky Donald Duck Happy Feet slippers, which are pretty awesome. And we win. We win when I wear them, except for in the playoffs. I'm not going to wear them in the playoffs this year. But they're really awesome slippers. If you haven't checked out, we have a review on that from last year. Very comfy. It's like wearing stuffed animals on your feet. And they go well with the Saints jersey.
I've not ordered a pair. I've kind of been waiting to see if I find them in a local store. But then again, I'm not really shopping anymore. Maybe I should give up. Didn't really think about that until it came out of my mouth. But they're really cool. Yours, I mean, they look like Disney store plush Donald heads on slippers. I mean, they're great quality. At least from the images I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, walking around my kids' room, they have plush and stuffed animals all over the place. So if you step on them, it's kind of like that, just walking around the whole house.
Walking around on plush.
Yeah. So as you can imagine, pretty comfy.
Yeah. Well, we're about to get ready for regularly scheduled podcasts again, where we're going to try to keep up with the new episodes of DuckTales as they release. Thankfully, DuckTales has moved back to Disney XD, and we are looking at a weekly release every Monday in September, at least we know. Actually, I guess that was every Monday for the next while, into October. And these episodes are going to air at 7 p.m. on Monday. So we're going to have a more regular schedule. I know during the hiatus, the 5-month-long hiatus, we've had some we've had some weeks where we haven't recorded. We're going to try to stay consistent during the new episodes. It will change our schedule a little bit, so we'll see what days I end up getting episodes out each week. I'm wanting to shoot for that Friday, and I say that because I want to hold myself accountable. I want to get those episodes out on Friday. I know a lot of people enjoy getting them on Friday. So yeah, it'll take a little bit of work on my part and on our part as far as how we plan the episodes and get things going for it. But that's the plan. See how many times I can say plan moving forward. But speaking of hiatus, I thought it'd be kind of fun to start off the conversation tonight with something not duck related. We've had 5 months without DuckTales, and I know you guys, just like I have, we've watched those season 3, season 2, and season 1 episodes over and over again over the last 5 months. But what else have you been watching? Like, what have you been watching during the 5-month hiatus? Is there anything you binged? Is there anything that you're currently watching that you're excited about?
Man, Trick or Treat, the classic animated Donald Duck cartoon, was added to Disney Plus last week, and I feel like my 2-year-old just watched it for the first time, and I think we've probably seen it about 100 times already.
We've watched it a few times since it was released.
Yeah, it's really. I mean, I've had it on DVDs before. It's on different compilations, but it's really convenient to just put it on Disney Plus and let him rewatch Trick or Treat and sing the songs. And I've been watching a lot of that. Rocketeer, watch that whenever I have a chance.
You talking about the movie or the new series?
I haven't binged the series yet, but because that hasn't been put on Disney Plus. But I watched the movie. I watched Amphibia. Owl House was been knocking it out of the park. Y'all need to catch up on that. Hopefully, it'll be added to Disney Plus soon, so everybody can see that. It is so Gravity Falls. It's unbelievable. It's great. And yeah, I'll hand it over to Joshua. I think of more stuff I've been watching because it's all I've been doing is watching TV.
I've been trying to think of all the stuff that I've been watching, and I've been watching a lot of stuff. But I haven't been able to watch too much Halloween stuff yet, but I'm going to ramp it up pretty soon. We did, I don't know if it's on Disney Plus. I had to watch it off YouTube because I couldn't find it. But the Dancing Bones.
Skeleton Dance.
The Skeleton Dance, yeah. We've been watching that with our baby because she is like in love with skeletons for some reason. And so like whenever she sees a skeleton, she's like, bones, bones. She's like starts yelling bones. And we're like, okay. So you like skeleton, you like bones, I guess. All right. And so we've been watching that with her, and because she likes to dance, and she'll kind of dance with them, and so she has a good time with that. But we did watch Nightmare Before Christmas the other day. So I guess we are starting our Halloween stuff a little early. And
how'd the baby enjoy that movie?
She did pretty good. She doesn't get really scared of things.
That's not what I expected you to say. My kids are just super sensitive, so.
Well, she's not scared of it. We take her to the Halloween store and like the scary Halloween store, and she just like wants to say hi to all the like scary things that jump at you. It's the weirdest thing. And so, and me and my wife are not like that at all. So we're kind of like, okay, I guess you like Halloween, but so we're gonna start ramping up the Halloween stuff. But I've been kind of taking a break of some of the stuff on Disney Plus because I did watch the new Mulan movie. We paid for the new movie.
Yeah, the premiere access.
The premiere, that's what it's called. Yeah. And so we watched that, but
give us your spoiler-free review because I'm really curious.
We enjoyed it. I know there's a lot of controversy with it right now, but for the most part, it's different than the cartoon. It's a little more like, to me, a little Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon-y than I expected it to be. But they did make some subtle changes that I like. Some I was like, oh, well, I kind of like this in the animated movie a little better. But overall, we enjoyed it. We thought it was a good watch, and we enjoyed it. We've only watched it once. We'll probably watch it again next week or the next few weeks just to kind of get the money's worth for it.
Yeah, with that premiere access, like it's on your Disney Plus account now as long as you're a member, right? Like it doesn't drop off.
It stays on, and you get to watch it as many times as you want. But then I think the very beginning of December, it becomes available for everybody for free. Okay. So if you have a Disney Plus account and you don't feel like paying, just wait a few more months and you'll have access to it. So
we've been trying to decide whether or not to give into it. I don't mind the premiere access. It's just it's not a movie I would most likely see in theaters myself. And I asked I asked my wife. I was like, do you want to go ahead and get it? We'll watch it Friday night or whatever. And she went back and forth on it. There's some of the live action movies that we really like, and then there's some that I would just much rather watch the original.
I would do it for Black Widow, though.
I would too. That's exactly what I was going to say. I would absolutely pay $30 to watch Black Widow right now.
Yeah.
Tonight.
Tonight, right now. Well,
We would end this right now and watch that movie.
I know they said that this was going to be the only movie that they do that for, but if they get a good turnout, I can see them doing it for Black Widow too. So we'll see how that all goes. But for the most part, we enjoyed the movie. We thought it was like a good watch with the family, and so we're definitely going to watch it again and just get the money's worth for sure. So
yeah,
did y'all watch the Phineas and Ferb movie?
Yes, it was
I've never
great.
watched an episode of Phineas and Ferb, so I have not watched it.
Never watched an episode of Phineas and Ferb.
Never.
So I'll say
to
this. I've used to watch a lot of Phineas and Ferb, and recently we've been watching Phineas and Ferb, but I would say that movie holds up on its own. I know there's some nostalgic stuff that happens in the movie, but it really plays just like an episode. I think you could watch it without watching the episodes, and it probably would get you to watch some episodes because it's a great show.
Yeah, it was kind of one of those shows that was out when most of the people my age have kids, so they've seen it, and so I just haven't had kids, so...
Yeah, it was around the time that we had kids and we were starting to change what we were watching because she was always in the room with us. And we started watching a lot of Disney Channel around that time.
And it's in Disney Infinity. You should know it from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We have the figures.
The girls were playing it this weekend. I didn't realize I even had the Phineas figure. I knew I had the Perry figure, but not the Phineas. I mean, I know they came together.
They made a Ferb, which was kind of like, it was kind of weird, but Agent P in the game is fun.
Yep. So as far as what have I been watching throughout the DuckTales hiatus, I've of course been watching Chuck. I perpetually watch Chuck all the way through. I'm currently in season 3 of my, I don't even know how many rewatch. It's just common practice for us to have Chuck on sometime during the week. Favorite show of all times. Check it out. It's on Prime. If you like nerdy stuff, and listen, you're listening to this podcast, you probably do. It's a great show. All kinds of cultural references. Highly recommend. We also, my wife and I binge watched Burn Notice over the hiatus, and that has been one of my longtime favorite shows. Top 5 for me, Burn Notice. I don't know that it's number 2, but definitely in the top 5. And we watched all of that. I think that's over on Prime as well. And there's like 7 seasons of that show, and it's all good. Front to back, all of it. If you've never seen it, check that out. I love spy stuff. I've said that. That's been said on this podcast. 2 of my all-time favorite television shows have spies in them. Get Smart, also in my top 5. Not really, but it's got a huge nostalgia factor for me. Also about spies. Anyway, but it was really good rewatching that. It was funny. My wife had forgotten the majority of the ending, and she says she hasn't seen it. So it was brand new to her, and I kept having those moments of, oh yeah, this is about to happen, and I can't say anything. Surprising show. And let's see. Recently started watching Community, and it was one of those things where I've never seen the show. And I knew Danny Pudi was on it, so I gave it a try one evening. And that evening, I binged like, I don't know, half the first season. And I've only had a couple of other opportunities to watch it, but I think I'm almost done with the first season. I just watched the episode. If people who watch it, there's a water gun fight in order to get to be able to pick your schedule. First pick of your schedule at their community college. That's why it's called Community. Anyway, hilarious. Danny Pudi's hilarious in it. Everybody is hilarious. Donald Glover's in it. Chevy Chase. I mean, it's a great show. Love it. Huge fan. As a matter of fact, I was shopping for Pops the other evening, and I don't know. I couldn't understand why they were so expensive. Pirate pointed out that my local Walmart had them in stock, cheap. So I haven't gotten by there. I've also started Cobra Kai, and I know Josh and I kind of talked about it a little bit.
Yeah, I've been watching that too.
Oh man, those 2 seasons of Cobra Kai, that's high priority for watching.
on Netflix right now too.
Yeah, so if you don't know what it is, Cobra Kai is from The Karate Kid, and it's about his nemesis from the first movie, Johnny Lawrence. And it's kind of, if you go to YouTube and you look up Karate Kid, one of the first videos that comes up is this video about how Ralph Macchio's character, LaRusso, what's his first name? I don't know why I can't think of it.
Johnny?
Daniel.
Danielson.
Yeah, Danielson. Yeah, Daniel LaRusso. There's this video on YouTube that points out that he was the bad guy all along. He was picking on Johnny Lawrence, and I feel like that sparked this take on a sequel to The Karate Kid, and it's really, really good. I mean, you find yourself wanting to root for Johnny Lawrence, and then you're like, but LaRusso's the good guy, you know, he's just trying to do good by everybody, and Johnny's just misunderstood, and then you find yourself rooting for Johnny again, and you're back and forth, and it's crazy. It's a good show. Season 3's coming out next year, but it was originally produced for YouTube when YouTube was trying their long form, and then they dropped it, and it got picked up by Netflix, so you can watch that on Netflix.
Yeah, I was reading that they had planned to do additional seasons, and the YouTube Red only wanted to do 3 seasons, and so to kind of save the show, they were looking for other takers, and Netflix picked them up, which is I think is a good pick because Netflix has the money to do it. So
yeah, it's great. I highly recommend it. Another thing that we probably ought to mention, it's kind of news related for us, but there was that announcement today of the Wonderful World of Mickey Mouse. And it's confirmed this will be in the style of the Mickey Mouse shorts, but it's a new series. And it's going to be globetrotting in some form. And Donald Duck is one of the characters. Donald and Daisy are characters that are confirmed to be on the show. One thing that's kind of... I've not paid close attention to Disney Junior in the last few years. Was Mickey and the Roadster Racers the last Mickey Mouse series on Disney Junior?
They named it something else. It was like Mix Up Racers.
Okay, but did they do something globetrotting where they were going all over the world?
Probably.
Okay.
That's what you do when you get further in the season.
Well, the reason why I ask is I met Irwine. I can't think of his first name. That's apparently going to be a thing for me on this podcast episode. Brett. I met Brett Irwine in Knoxville at Fanboy last year, and we were talking with him because he did Mickey in Disney Infinity, and so me and Lexi were there, and Lexi was excited to get to meet him, and he told us he was currently at the time working on a series that it sounded like it was going to be a successor to Roadster Racers, but it was going to be globetrotting. So when I read this, I was wondering if that was that series or if there had been one since then. So I don't know. Because Diamantopoulos does Mickey in the Mickey Mouse shorts. The voice of Darkwing Duck, Drake Mallard, and Storkules. Oh, and Melon.
And that's one of the ones where Donald isn't voiced by Tony.
Correct.
Elmo.
Yeah. So, but that's interesting. That comes out November 18th on Disney Plus. I haven't heard anything else about that Chip and Dale series that was supposed to be coming to Disney Plus as well. I need to look for that. Remember, there's that short with the kind of crazy style. I was looking forward to that. Well, that's all the stuff not on our notes. Let's jump into some stuff in our notes. I just thought it'd be fun to kind of start with that because I know we've been trying to fill that entertainment gap and watch other things. We've also we've watched a lot of the classic Disney afternoon over the last few months. Last night I laid down with my youngest as she was getting ready for bed, and she turned on Darkwing Duck. What is the name? Apes of Wrath. She turned on Apes of Wrath and we watched it. Good episode. All right. Let's start off this episode, 20 minutes in, with a shout out. We had a tweet at us. We've actually got a couple shout outs this episode, so there's another one coming. But Lauren Loves _ NYC tweeted at us today. Me listening to DuckTalks during my free period in school? ? It's more likely than you think. And I thought that was a lot of fun. Always love it when people interact with us. And then, of course, Dan Cunningham jumped in the conversation, and we had a little bit of fun with it with some gifts and talking about education and Duck Talks. And it's a lot of fun. I'm just grateful for everyone in the community who lets us know that they're listening. That's a lot of fun. So it's been a little while since we've had someone give us a mention over on Twitter that's just kind of interacting with an episode or letting us know. I thought we'd include that in a shout out. We should do that more often. I enjoy including that in the podcast. But thank you, Lauren, for listening. Another thing I came across today, a lot of our notes are from today. We've come across this person before. I think Pirate was telling me earlier, you just recently followed them. Shell Beanie, they're currently going by the name Deep in the Duckblur, posted a teaser for a dramatization reading of the DuckTales comics. Now, I don't know if they plan on going through all of the DuckTales comics, if they're only doing certain issues. The teaser was for one of the early issues that included Della, and it's really good. It was a lot of fun. The teaser's a lot of fun. You should follow them over on Twitter and check it out. I think it's going to be a lot of fun when they put it out. I can't wait to share it with the kids. They love the comics, and to be able to follow along with this dramatization. And I say that they're also including images and cuts and stuff in this. So you don't have to have the comic to sit down and listen to it. I mean, you can listen to it without watching it, but it's really cool.
I miss the comics. They need to bring them back.
Oh man. The IDW and the comics, I don't know what's going on there. Would love to have more DuckTales comics. All right, we got another news item, and this news item is going to begin with another shout out to Luna McDuck. Luna sent us an email, and I realized this evening when we were working on the notes that I had not responded, so I apologize, Luna, if you're listening, and I think you are. But they sent us an update to the Trickening. It's an upcoming episode. It's the Halloween episodes. It's a new title. We're no longer calling it the Halloween episode. We are forevermore calling it the Trickening because that's its title. It's what they named it. An update to the description that reads as such. The kids forego their usual trick-or-treat path and instead take on the most haunted house in Duckburg. That part we knew. Here's the addition. While Launchpad confronts ghosts from the past. Now, we knew Launchpad was going to be in this episode. We'd already seen images and maybe some clips of him in the episode, but we didn't know his part. And apparently he's the B story. And I think when I first read this, my mind inserted ghosts from his past, but it says ghosts from the past. You think we get some Haunted Mansion ghosts in this?
I hope so. I mean, they might have some kind of Easter eggs depending on how in depth they get into the haunted house. And we know they had some promos back in the day, probably 2017, with Haunted Mansion in it on Disney XD. So Haunted Mansion DuckTales combo. So
yeah, that was the stop motion.
Yeah. Very much looking forward to that episode.
Now, I thought it was interesting. There is a little bit of a discrepancy on when this episode will air. And we've reported on this, but I'm still kind of digging, trying to determine which is accurate. So if you go to the Trickening's listing on the Disney press site, it says that it will air on Friday, October 2nd. And that is when they're also pushing this Halloween block of content, that there's going to be multiple shows or episodes that are going to have going to have debuts for Halloween on October 2nd. But if you go and you look at the schedule for this episode, you'll find that it's still marked to be released on October 5th. So I don't know if we will get it early on Friday, October 2nd, and then also air on Monday the 5th. But there was another thing that I found that makes me think the 2nd is happening, because also on the press site, it says beginning Saturday, October 3rd, a special Halloween collection for all ages, including themed episodes, shorts, and new music videos, will be available in Disney Now. And I would expect that these episodes that they're rolling out would be on there too if they premiered on October 2nd. So we'll be following that, trying to get some answers, trying to determine what's going to happen. I know there's the, over on Twitter, there's the Disney schedule archives. Of course, with the highlights will let us know. They should be released this week, actually. We should get a definite release date for that. Weird.
Music videos, yeah. But that's for all of Disney Channel, Disney Junior, and Disney XD. Like, all three channels are doing a big Halloween push. Gotcha.
As they usually do, I think. You know, we also had Trickening images in the last little while, but we might save the conversation for this image for the promo and just kind of insert it in there if you guys are okay with that. Because we got a really good image last week. You guys ready to jump into the promo?
Do it.
All right, let's do that. So I wanted to point out that from what I can tell, this promo that just came out, so there's two actually that we're talking about. There's the promo that came out earlier, and then there's the promo that released today, the 14th. The earlier promo appears to include clips from the Phantom and the Sorceress. They put a moonlander on the Earth, and the Forbidden Fountain of the Foreverglades. No Let's Get Dangerous, no Trickening in this. And there was one other, the other bin. What is it called? The Impossible Bin. I don't think any of this is from the Impossible Bin. I don't think. That's part of our discussion. You guys, I included a link to the video if you need to watch it, but I've got screen caps here of pretty much all of it. We don't have to go too much in depth. I know everybody's been talking about it for a while, but it begins with this creature coming out of the TV, which we had seen earlier this month, with the one of the first images that was released for this episode. So we know this is from the Phantom and the Sorceress, and this comes out of the television, and the whole family's scared except for Scrooge, who deflects its beam with a tray or something. So not sure where this creature's coming from, what part it's going to have in the story. I'm guessing it's just some of the magical chaos that's going on in Duckburg.
It's coming out of the TV.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know where it's coming from. It's coming from the other TV. You're exactly right. We see that the family's sitting there. We've got Scrooge, Huey, Dewey, and Louie, Webby, Lena, and Violet there for some sort of viewing of something when the creature comes out of the TV.
This is supposed to have Magicka in it, right? This episode?
Yeah, this is the episode that should have the Phantom Blot and Magicka Dispel and Gladstone Gander.
All right, so my guess then would be that it's something to do with Magicka trying to get after them and does something to the TV, right? That's probably
That's pretty. Could be Magicka. The description of this episode talks about how they have to face off, that Lena has to search for the source, or something about someone who's stealing magic or using magic to create chaos or something like that. And I think it could be Magicka or it could be the Phantom. Maybe you're right. Maybe Magicka is trying to get them to help her go after the Phantom.
Maybe.
Yeah, and you can also see in that image that Lena has her purple stone, which if you remember back in the day, I said that was the Power Stone from the Infinity Gauntlet.
It's about time for that, yeah.
Which, if you look at the other images that we see from the Phantom Blot, he has like an Infinity Gauntlet on it. So if I'm right, I'm going to have some bragging rights.
I had not even thought of that. You are exactly right. Oh my goodness.
And Gladstone, could that be the green gem for luck? I don't know.
Well,
or what's her name from the moon
I had this theory as well. Look at Penumbra's chest.
Penumbra's chest got a green stone.
Yeah, there's a green stone there.
And then the red stone was from Jaws, the giffany. The giffany, that's from Gravity Falls.
Jaws
Giffany,
with
the shark.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
Yeah. Oh man, Pirate, you're exactly right. I don't even know if you know this. Frank Angonas not long ago was asked if any of the fan theories were correct, and he said there's one from a while back, and I've wrote it down for when it airs. And I remember he interacted with that blog. What if that blog is accurate? Oh my. Well, and I'll include the blog in the show notes. I'm sure we'll share it between now and then, though. You're probably pulling it up right now.
There's a couple of them, yeah. Because even and this one's totally off, but I believe even Miss Beakley has in her little brooch that she has around her neck. It was I think I even claimed that as a stone. I'm not gonna claim that one now because I think I like the Penumbra stone, but we'll see.
Oh wow. So we may have a whole nother storyline taking place at the second part of the season. Well, and speaking of Penumbra, she's in the next image, riding on top of the car, and we know from other clips that flash on your screen that Webby and Dewey are in here. I'm guessing Launchpad's driving. I don't know that I've seen any Launchpad in that episode.
No, because if you see the most recent one that was released today, no one is driving the car. And you see, and in another clip, you see Launchpad running from behind the car.
Oh.
So somehow he maybe was driving and is not anymore.
Well, that checks out. That makes sense. Yeah, you do see people along the street kind of freaking out. So, yeah, very, very odd. We'll see what... Now, that is... they put a moonlander on the Earth. That's going to have the Flint Hart Glom wheel or Flint Ferris Glom wheel in it. And there's more images of it to come. And before we get there, I thought it was interesting, these images of the boys. And Huey says, let's hew this before playing what looks like could be ping pong. But all the boys have their shirts off. And there's another clip of them a little bit later, and you can tell they've all got their shirts off. My best guess on this one is that it's the B story for the Forbidden Fountain of the Foreverglades. I think they're in Florida and it's hot.
It could be, but how funny is it whenever you go shirtless, you got to wear shorts.
Well, and he's also that's true.
Can't be naked.
Duck's got shorts on when they're shirtless. Well, and he's got like a watch on too, which is odd for the characters. So time must be a factor in this episode. But speaking of the Foreverglades, the next thing we see is Scrooge and Goldie falling to their doom in a forest-like area. So, yeah, and they're both in adventure get-up, what we would expect. Definitely Foreverglades, without a doubt. I think we've been talking about that for a while, that their next adventure would be looking for this Fountain of Youth that we think is most likely connected to the journal. And moving along, we have Magicka's lair that we've been talking about. Now, we're guessing it's her lair. Who knows? Maybe someone else created it to mock her. We don't know. Because there a little bit later, we do see Magicka a couple of times in this. And she says, it's good to be back. So I'm guessing she's going to get some of her magic back in this.
She's not green. She's not green yet, though.
But that was due to the dime, right? Like she was green because of the power of the dime. So maybe she can still have magic, but not be green. I would prefer her green. Or maybe it's another studio mix-up where they just did it the wrong color. And they're like, no, she's got to be green now. I thought she had to be white. Well, no, she was white before, now she's green. Because that was a whole thing. Mm-hmm. Threw us off our game at one point. And then we get a fun clip that someone made a horrible, horrible joke with over on Twitter with Franken Jeeves and Rocker Duck.
Oh, come on, that was good.
It was good. What was funny is all the people reacting. Everyone was like, "Oh no, what's happening? Is DuckTales canceled?" And I'm like, would we really be the ones reporting on DuckTales canceled like that? And then people over in the Discord is like, oh no, what are you all doing? And even on Disney, on DSA, on Sorcerer's Arena, people were commenting on that tweet over in the game.
Well, I had to apologize ahead of time.
Yeah. So you made Rocker Duck floss.
Yeah, no one wants to see that, but it was still funny.
It was funny.
It was like the 1 second clip of him and his arms are kind of moving. And I have to tell you, the first time I saw it, that's all I could think of was, I gotta make him floss.
I think that's hilarious. I wondered how you even came up with that. I was like, I never thought of that when I saw that clip.
Well, whenever they have whenever we're doing these analyzations of the trailers and you kept trying to catch every little possible thing, I'm like doing it in slow motion, and then I saw him just drop his arms like that,
and you started going back and forth, back and forth,
yeah.
back and forth. And it's a quick second too. Whew.
Yeah.
So this looks like they're chasing after Scrooge and Goldie in the Foreverglades. That's my guess. There's like a, what was it, a ducky that he's holding? It looks like or maybe it's on a blanket that's wrapped around him. I don't know. Rocker Duck's seen better days. Frankenjeeves looks like he's getting around. He's pieced together. I can't wait to find out this story. What's going on with these two?
He looks like he's like the baby in like one of those wraps.
The baby Bjorn.
Yeah.
Ingenious. I'm surprised he's looking alive because last we saw him, didn't he look frozen?
He was. Like
in amber or a block of ice. I don't know. All right, so moving on. We got more of the boys shirtless but with shorts. We're guessing. We don't see below the chest. And they're in a room, and it looks like, I mean, if you look around, I think, pool floats in the background. Those tubes, the noodles, not the tubes, the noodles.
Yeah, or it could be.
Could be. There's a lot of stuff up on the walls. I see the word cooler. Numbers. There's a water cooler.
Water cooler.
I think they're at a resort, like a cheap resort or something. I think they were left behind from the adventuring, and obviously from the sword pointed at them, they're going to get in some trouble.
Yeah, that could be Jeeves with the sword, because we feel like that is from that same episode.
Yes, that would be the same episode. Yep. All right, so that's fun times. Then we get Gloom Gold in front of the Flint Ferris Glom wheel.
And it's funny. There's like a big the cutout of him by the entrance where you have to be this height to to go on the ride. It's like really, because I mean, Gloom Gold's not a tall guy, so it's kind of funny that he's like sticking out his little cane.
I like that. I like that the cabins are all shaped like him. They're all triangular, like it's his shape.
It's true. And he's got a moonlander dressed like him too.
Not only a moonlander, probably one of the most well-known moonlanders, voiced by, hold on,
Rob Paulson.
No, I know that. I was trying to look up his in-character name, Gibbius. It's not Gibbius. How do you say his name?
I don't know, but I like when you say names, so that's why.
I mean, I wanted to call him Gibbius, and I looked it up, and I was like, there's no I there. Gibbous. I need to go back to that episode. But yeah, Rob Paulson voices this character, and it's good to see him back. We knew he was coming back. Frank talked about it over on Tumblr, I believe. But, he's sporting some very Glom Gold looking clothing. You think he's the new Alson?
He might be like an intern or something.
Well, Alson quit.
Yeah.
I wonder if we're going to get her to come back and some episode.
She's got to. My money's still on her becoming a villain.
Yeah, that sounds good. Maybe she went crazy.
I mean, they put her through the ringer. After that, we get a very dark image that I probably should have tried to lighten up. We're guessing, obviously, the Phantom Blot, but he's got that glove Pirate was talking about earlier. With
Infinity Gauntlet.
The Infinity Gauntlet with a green or an emerald gem, power source, something. We're not sure. Later we see a green beam, so I'm sure it comes from inside that glove or gauntlet. And then we get the Magicka in the woods. So this is all probably part of the battle. But you're right. If you're looking at this, he's in a building here, whereas when he's facing everyone else... Oh, I'm sorry. This is a totally different episode now. Yeah, it's the Phantom Blot. They're inside. They're in a building, though, as opposed to being out in the woods. So then we see Lena with Violet, Webby, and Magicka in the background, and it looks like she's got some blue magic, which I don't think was the color of her original magic, so that has changed.
Well, it was originally like a pink or purpley color, but then when she got the power of friendship, it turned blue, didn't it?
Okay, yeah. So in Moonvasion, was it blue as well? Because I know she did a lot of stuff in Moonvasion.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I'd have to look. It might have been, though. But we do see Magicka in the background, and that's where you get that emerald power going towards her, and it looks like she's worried. And she does make the comment, there's some back and forth going on, and you see her, or you hear her saying, "You're exhausting," you know that? And, I mean, we're all assuming that's towards Magicka. Or at least I am. Then we got Penumbra saving Dewey and Webby, and it looks like the Glom wheel is in the background. At least based on those colors and the shape. And then we got Webby facing off against the shadowy figure with the gauntlet, and she has an axe with a kitty head on it. I'm looking forward to having some more action-oriented Webby. I like when Webby gets to flipping around and hitting the bad guys. The next part, as we're getting close to the end, I think, the next part goes back to Penumbra with Dewey and Webby, and it looks like they're at a boardwalk next to what may be the Flint Ferris Glom wheel. That's really hard for me to say. But I want to point out, doesn't it look like it's like run down? I don't even think there's any like cabins hanging from it. Could this be before Gloom Gold opens it? Or maybe something happens to it. Maybe this is the end of the episode and they've destroyed it.
Probably the end of the episode.
So I mean, we're going to call it. Things are not going to go well for the Flint Ferris Glom wheel. And I'd like to point out, I'm pretty sure the duck in the background of this image over to the left was based off of me. You can laugh. It was a joke.
Hold on. Let me look.
I gotta look. And then...
Just add the laugh track.
I will. The laugh track's getting inserted, if I can find it. People love the laugh track. We were told we should put it in every episode. It gets rid of the awkwardness.
Awkwardness.
I'm pretty sure Jason said that. Thank you, Jason. Speaking of which, Jason was the one that got great quality of this video for us. Check out Jason and Turtle Recall, now within our family of podcasts. Then we get some Gladstone. I think it's the only time we see Gladstone in these, and he does not look like he's in good shape.
Maybe whatever dimension that they go into, he doesn't have his luck.
I think Frank has said that over on Tumblr. Like
really?
He's going to, because whatever the Phantom Blot is doing with magic, Frank has hinted that Gladstone's luck is a form of magic, and he may have a lesson to learn about it or something like that. So I think you're right on that. I think he's going to be without his luck. And also, judging by the next scene, now tell me what you guys think. The next clip that I posted is Donald. Is Donald in the forest with them? I think that's this episode and not the Goldie Scrooge episode. I think it's the Phantom and the Sorceress. Is it possible Donald's going to get hit with Gladstone's luck? I mean, we all want to see that, right?
Can't get worse for him.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
If the luck gets moved over to Donald and then Gladstone's getting hit by everything, I can't wait. Oh man, next week. And then this promo ends with, kind of considering everything that's happened. It's kind of laid back in the living room with Louie just kind of slouching on the couch. And Webby says, "Woo, what could go wrong?" And Dewey says, "Hopefully everything." And And then Scrooge looks over this newspaper, and I had to get a clip of this because, and I meant to look this up before, hold on. On the newspaper, it says Lorem Ipsum stone, finally translated. Now, my understanding is Lorem Ipsum is something that can't be read. I meant to look that up before we got started. Let me do that real quick. Lorem.
Well, I know that's a thing that they put in as like placeholders for things.
Yeah, so it's just a placeholder. So it's just random letters or words. So it's probably just a gag on that. But it says stone. And I don't know, I think I sent this to you guys. Over on Tumblr, Frank was asked for an out-of-context something. I think this was an out-of-context tumble, which is what I now call Tumblr posts. And he said, Rosa Stones. And so, or not stones, what were they? Rosa, was it Dunes? Rosa Dunes?
Dunes, yeah.
Yeah, Rosa Dunes.
I think you got Don Rosa and Tad Stones mixed up.
That's what I did, absolutely. Same guy. Not at all. And so I wonder, could these be connected? Could this be, going into that? Might it have something to do with the episode? It is the Sorceress, or the Phantom and the Sorceress episode. Is the beginning of that. So it could be connected. Maybe we've got one of Isabella Finch's lost treasures in this episode with the Rosa Dunes. And then I've got some clips from the promo that was released today, just mere hours ago. And the only thing that was really added to that, I think Pirates caught more things than I have, was we saw Webby and Dewey in the cabin of the Glom wheel. And we know that Penumbra's going to be there at some point, but they're in it right now. And then we also get a little bit of Violet and Lena fighting something. Violet has some sheets or ropes that are tied together, and she's pulling, and Lena's using her amulet. Now, in the officially released image of the Phantom Blot, he has these ropes underneath him, like they tried to tie him up, but he's loose. So I'm guessing this is all from the same scene, and we're just seeing some of that battle. But Pirate, do you want to point out the most important Easter egg that we've seen of these two promos?
Heck yeah, I do. So we do get to see part of the fair that they get. I guess it's a Duckburg fair on the boardwalk. And there's a location, a food location that Darkwing Duck fans will recognize immediately as Hamburger Hippo.
Oh, yeah. Didn't we just talk about Hamburger Hippo in an episode?
We did.
We're hoping that they eat that Hamburger Hippo in the Darkwing Duck episode.
I think it was the text. You said you're so hungry you could eat a Hamburger Hippo. Yeah. I wish there was one.
Well, we talked about it being an Easter egg in a future episode, too.
Yeah, for sure. So now we know it's pretty much just a fast food restaurant that is in the shape of a hippo with its mouth open, and that's exactly what we see right next to the Ferris wheel, the Glom Ferris wheel. So you know what? Maybe I hope Webby gets to eat our first hamburger.
Well, frankly speaking, Frank has answered that Webby will eat a hamburger in an upcoming episode.
Oh,
yeah. So I think it's going to happen. Good times. I like these fun references. I'm looking forward to, man, next week, we got new episodes of DuckTales, and of course we'll be back to review the Phantom and the Sorceress. We'll be talking about any of the news and conversation. Please check us out over at DuckTalks.com. That's where we post the majority of the information that we come across. Sometimes just for zaniness and fun, you can find some posts over on Twitter. We have a lot of fun with the community. We're very thankful for all the interaction that we have and all the conversations that are sparked. So go to Twitter, check out Duck Talks. You can shoot us an email if you have a tip, or and you can DM us over on Twitter. But if you got a tip or a question or something you'd like to hear about on the podcast, maybe you'd like to add your 2 cents on your reaction of the newest episodes, you can do that over, you can shoot us an email ducktalkspod@gmail.com, or you can send us a voice memo. We like getting those voicemails, and the way that we ask people to do that, just record yourself on your mobile device, a voice memo, and send that file to the email address, and you might end up on our episode. I think that's it for this week. Until next time.
Stay Glom Golden.
You can dream it, you can do it.
All right.